Welcome back to this definitely.com tutorial on how to move a WordPress blog. In the first video, I went over things you'll need, the step-by-step process, preparing your blog. In the second video, I went over exporting the database. In this video, I'm going to go over preparing your new host, in this case on Rackspace. So now I'm here at my account control panel at Rackspace. Yours is going to look different, probably. Most people don't host at Rackspace. When you have a bigger blog, you probably should look into it because it's more expensive, but it definitely gives you the power that you need to handle the traffic. And good service. I haven't had much trouble with them at all. So I would recommend it at this point in time. So the first thing you want to do is you can host multiple sites on your account. It seems to be kind of built for reselling hosting, even though I don't do that, but that interface allows me to set up multiple sites, so that's what I'm going to do. So I clicked on Hosting, Cloud Sites. These are the sites that are currently here. I'm going to move michaeljansen.com over here. I already own the domain, so I'm going to check I already own this domain. This is part of that reseller hosting interface. I'm just going to leave it at the default because it doesn't really matter. The limits are really at the account level, not at the plan level, which is what they're showing here. I do want one database, and it's billing me 0. Okay, so it is now set up, and now I need to create a database. So I'm going to go over to Features, and I'm going to add a database. Give the database a name. So all databases need a name, a user, and a password, and they also need a server name. So this is saying that there are no databases currently available. I'm going to click Features tab again. It should show it. Some services, some web hosts take a few minutes to do things like creating a database because of the scripts that are running in the background. So if that happens, wait a moment, refresh the page, or re-click on the tab or navigation that got you to that page. Now I'm going to click on the database name, and this gives me the information I'm going to need. It gives me the host name, which I'm going to need to put into the WP config file. It gives me the database name. Again, that's where I'll put that. The user, and then that password that I entered. So I'm going to stay on this page for a moment, and I'm going to run over to WordPress, and I'm going to download a fresh copy of WordPress. Okay, so I have my new copy of WordPress right here. I am going to rename the WP config sample to just WP config. I'm going to open the file with a text editor, and I'm going to bounce back over to my control panel, and I'm going to start pasting in this information. This is the database name, the host name. A lot of web hosts don't use localhost anymore. dbhost gives you the actual host name. That's for security reasons. And I will probably go through and change all of these after the demo. But for now, this is fine. And now I'm going to type this and type the password that I used. Okay, so the WP config file is there. I've got a fresh copy of WordPress, and now I am going to upload this to the new space. Now this is, on the left is the old code, the old website. On the right is the is my account at Rackspace. I'm going to click refresh, and you'll see michaeljansen.com appear. It is now on that account. And I'm going to drill into where the root directory is, the root web directory. And typically you'll find a temporary index file there. By the way, I can go over here. Typically under some kind of DNS tab or navigation, you'll find the DNS names, which we'll need, but you'll also find a testing URL. In this case, I think that testing URL is out on the general tab. Here it is, right here. So just to make sure it's working, this page, this website is ready page, is actually this file right here. So we can see it in via FTP. Now I'm going to go back to this fresh copy of WordPress with my information in it, my WP config stuff, and I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop that over here and let that upload. Now, the reason I'm uploading a brand new fresh copy of everything is because in the event that I was hacked in the past and don't know it, by uploading a fresh copy of the software, I'm reducing the risk of a backdoor being left in one of those files. It's very common, I've seen it many times, when a blog gets hacked by some kind of spyware or something, and permissions on a file or folder get changed, and possibly a little code embedded or inserted somewhere. It's typically very hard to find this code. But if you upload a fresh copy of everything, then you're okay. Sometimes they'll stick it in the database. That gets a bit harder to find, and that would be another video. But on a website transfer like this, it just makes sense to use a fresh copy of the code. Especially if your blog, if you've kept your blog up to date, when WordPress throws out a new release, you've updated it. It's typically better to start with a fresh copy. Even with your plugins, I'm not going to do that on this move because I have so few plugins and I haven't had any trouble so far with hackers on that domain name. So I'm not going to do that. So that was preparing the new host. In the next video, I'll go over importing the database into the new website.